what are some tools that you suggest that they apply to maybe curtail this temper tantrum and to still have a connection with their anger in a healthy way?
So there's a couple of things. One is a tool that I talk about usually in the first session of the group is one of the most powerful anger management tools is shut your mouth. Because because if your lips are closed, you're probably not going to make it worse, and you're more likely to listen and breathe through your nose deep into your abdomen slowly, in and out for six, or in for six and out for eight, whatever, but slowly, and exhale slower. And if we do that, it it lowers our heart rate, and it can pull us back from the edge of fight or flight. And if we give the other person the experience of being really listened to, like heard and seen and valued, maybe even loved, then half of conflicts just disappear right there. Not all of them, but a lot of them, people just need to be listened to. And many of us, especially guys, and some women too, for sure, we're always trying to fix the other person or fix the situation when all we got to do is listen. Listening is powerful. And many of us, when we were growing up, didn't feel listened to. Nobody listened to us. And, you really give somebody that experience, and it can be profound. And then they feel really seen and valued. And it changes the whole dynamic. And the other part, and well, there's all sorts of little things like that. But the other part is um, developing some sort of practice where you're dialed into yourself. So sometimes that's going for a morning walk. Sometimes it's having a morning meditation practice, or where you just sit still for 5 minutes, or you journal every morning for a few minutes, or longer. And when people meditate, sometimes I'll say, well, just sit still for a while and just notice your heart beating, if you can feel that. Just notice what's happening in your body. And then whenever your mind wanders, that you bring it back to that without judgment, without criticism. You spend 99% of the time with your mind wandering all over the place. It doesn't matter. The benefits happen when we sit still and just notice what's going on in our body. How's your breathing? How's your, does it feel like a constriction here in my chest? What does it feel like in my belly, in my solar plexus? Because this is usually fear in the chest, usually shame right here, this feeling unworthy. In the belly is usually anxiety. Not always, it can be different for different people. If we feel it in the throat, and sometimes people feel a lot in their throat, it's usually because we don't have a voice. If we feel it up in the forehead, like tension, what have you, often there's overwhelm. In the jaw, clenching the jaw, like grinding our teeth at night. I've done that for many years. I still wear a mouth guard or whatever, but that's usually anger, right? We're like gritting our teeth. We're just like hanging on, and tension in the shoulders. Maybe we're carrying too big of an emotional load, maybe a physical load too, or what have you. But these things are, and can be in our hips, our legs, our arms, our back, or what have you. Noticing what's happening in your body, and the more aware we are of what's happening in our body, the more self-aware, we are of what's happening to ourselves emotionally. Because many of us, myself included, grew up learning, especially guys, well, you just like the body is like, a machine that needs no maintenance and is irrelevant, like emotions are irrelevant. That's like for girls or something. That's what I learned growing up, right? My dad literally thought the emotions were, you know, they didn't matter. And overall he was a pretty nice guy, but you know, I don't know. He was a part-time musician as well. So I was like, well, how can you play the cello and not feel stuff, right? Because like that's an instrument that reverberates right through your body. Or so I felt that when I heard him playing when I was growing up. I liked it. So the more we look after ourselves and, obvious things, get enough sleep, eat healthy, don't drink too much caffeine, which I probably do sometimes. Um, don't drink too much booze or smoke too much weed or whatever. Like if we're getting exercise, if we're getting out into nature, if we're engaging in activities that give us inspiration, hobbies, or I live right beside a trail and I get out into the trails almost every day. Even if like part of that is a 1 kilometer walk to a coffee shop, it's still I'm walking beside a creek, on a trail, and there's something really healing and healthy about that. And walking, is good exercise. So if people are doing all those things, then they're in way better shape when the unexpected shit that life throws our way happens. Because that's the guarantee. Life is going to throw unexpected shit your way. And what do you do with that? Do you react to it, or do you shut your mouth for a minute, breathe deep, think it through, and respond like the adult part of you? Or do you just have a big temper tantrum? And all of us do some of both. And all of us have both of those in us. So the more dialed into each of those paths, what it feels like in our body, what it feels like in our head, what it's, the actions that take us down each of those. If we can be honest with that, with ourselves. Okay, I know if I start blaming my partner, yeah, that's never actually helped. Right? That's only made it worse 100% of the time, which doesn't mean that we don't hold the other person accountable. It just means we don't start pointing fingers and, giving them shit about stuff, because then they get defensive and start attacking back or whatever, right? It's like, okay, that's not the adult, intelligent, heart connected part of me. I can do better.